Hello, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another edition of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Today, it's pretty obvious what we have here. We have a Force Effects Black Series Kylo Ren Force Effects lightsaber. A little background on this. This was actually a gift to me from my people involved with my day job. I've mentioned it in a few episodes, plus a lot of my subscribers are students, so I can say that when I'm not doing Darth Tuba episodes, I am a music teacher, and we just finished a production of a musical, which I conducted our pit orchestra, and our pit orchestra students, it's customary for them to give a thank you gift to the director at the end of the musical, and they know my love and passion for Star Wars, and they also know of my channel, so they purchased me a Force Effects lightsaber. So I am excited. I do have several of these, many of which have been given to me as gifts, which from previous years from students. So that's always a nice thing. So I don't like to talk too much about that, just because for security and safety reasons. But to those students, I do want to say thank you. I know many of them will be watching this, and thank you so much for the awesome gift. And you all still did a fantastic job on the production, so thank you so much. So let's get right to it. It's a little hard to do in a sitting position here because this is quite a large box, but I gotta say it looks like it might have possibly been unboxed previously. If not, it could have been unboxed by a consumer that decided to return it, or it could have just been used as a floor model, that type of thing. Then again, maybe not, because I'm looking at it. It looks like it's just in the same spots that it normally is. So hard to tell for sure. All right. Oop, I think I got to get one more. And again, I'm kind of limited here where I'm allowed to move. I've been collecting these since they were master replicas, and I've very much enjoyed the technology and how it's improved over the years. There we go. The first one I remember them saying that you do not want to. And no, this has definitely not been opened. So the box was a little bit iffy, but this has not been opened. But I remember the first time that it came out, I think I got Obi-Wan's saber, and they said do not hit against the wall. Do not use against another lightsaber. I mean, it's a very, very, very delicate piece of technology. So then, after that, they started improving the technology, and then the technology allowed to not only be able to be a little bit more active with it, but you can actually have staged fights with with other Force effects, and they would make sound effects as they connected. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna take this and this out, and then I'm going to actually close up the rest of this, and then we'll flip it around, make sure I'm not connected to my microphone. All right. I believe the ones that are currently in my collection. In fact, in lieu of photos, what I will do. It looks like there might have been a previous purchase, because it was sent to a person here. Oh no, actually no, I don't think so. I think that's actually an order. So anyway, it might have been one of the students. So it was done online. So that's cool. That way, if shipping is a problem, you can always request a new one. But this looks like it had a little bit of a crease in the box, but the unit itself looks immaculate and untouched. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, give me a second here. I'm going to move this now. I think I got everything out of the way. Now this has a serious amount of weight to it, so I'm wondering if there is, in fact, batteries already in it. So before, here we go, is an on and off switch. Okay, there's no batteries yet, so we need to do that. Now, before I go crazy with this, I find that instructions are a good thing. All right. Yeah, the on-off buttons are sometimes kind of hidden on these things. You got to be careful. All right, here we go. Okay, make sure it's off. Okay, always follow directions. Okay, it is off. Using a coin. Using a coin, which I don't have, so I'll have to try this with a screwdriver. It's so funny that they would want it to be a coin. Why not a screwdriver? Like every other item. Okay, there we go. And it has AA batteries. And you just slide this out. It doesn't take that much. I remember the first couple used to take need a lot more battery power. These do not seem to need as much, which is good. All right, and we put them in, drop it back in. Oh, it saw a little flicker there. Interesting. Okay, moment of truth. That's awesome. And I think if I give it a little bit of tap, don't try that with an actual lightsaber. You will not have a hand after that. I like to do the thing like from Force Awakens. Oh, it even flickers a little bit. Let me see what happens when I turn it off. Now, I love this, and the technology has improved so much better since the first one. As I started to say, the first one I think is an Obi-Wan lightsaber. It doesn't even go up when it turns on; it just flickers on, like it just fades on, and then it's very delicate, and you got to be really careful. And if you do too much hitting with other ones, the bulbs start to go out, and then it just becomes kind of useless as if you try to turn it on. Then they've developed where it can go up, and it requires less power, but there is a lot of weight to this. If anybody was planning on cosplaying with this or going around with this, just be aware it is heavy. It's not a big deal when you're just sitting around, demonstrating it, in your home or something. But if you are going out into the world and into a convention or going to see a movie, going to see one of the movies, and you want to bring this with you, this is going to weigh heavily on you. Now, I will say that if you're interested, Disney, I believe, and it's only available, I think, in Disney parks, they have a version of this very similar, except that the blades come off. Okay, I don't know if it has the same level of power with the brightness of the blade, or if it goes like it's supposed to, where this one's first and then these are next. I don't know anything about that. I don't own one. This is my first Force Effects Kylo Ren Saber. Okay, and for this, it is awesome. Okay, it's got a lot of weight to it, but it's really cool. Obviously, the weight is mostly in the handle. All right, so you just got to be careful with that, but that is so cool. Okay, so what I'll do, okay, when I'm probably picking up the sounds better. Wow, it actually lights up pretty well here. That's cool. Okay, so I'll end this video in a few minutes with me showing all the other sabers that I have and how they're displayed. I'm not 100% sure how to display this one yet. I will tell you that it comes with this, which I believe, let's see if I got this right. I think is it like this? I think it's supposed to be, I think it's either displayed, let's see if I have this right. Yes, oh wait, no, the other way. My bad. Did I do that right? Let me just make sure. What am I missing here? Oh. This is crazy. Display stand. I guess you have two ways you can do it. This way doesn't seem right to me, so. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Okay. So you've got this way, which I think is kind of like I think you have to find like a balance. Like that, okay, which is nice, okay. The only thing to be aware of is that, it is a little flimsy, okay, and they have a similar thing like this with other lightsabers, but the problem is that with the Kylo Ren one, you've got the cross guard. So in dealing with the cross guard, now, people like to put it on their mantle. Okay, great. But you put this on the mantle, you have to have a pretty big mantle to withstand the width of the cross guards. So that's one way of doing it. And the other way looks like it's pretty much like that. Which, to me, doesn't seem like a really good way. Let's see if I put it this way. It makes it. Yeah, I think there is a certain way you have to carry it. Like the weight of it works a different way. You have to do it a certain way where the on-off switch is up top, because it isn't weighted perfectly, symmetrically. So then it works. If you try to do it the opposite way, I guess it would be technically upside down, it starts to get a little wobbly. So you got to make sure that the on-off switch is up top. It's definitely designed to be doing like that. It's funny, I mentioned earlier that my day job is music, and I'm a music teacher, and one of my jobs is orchestra class, where I conduct. And one of the things that you try to find when you use a baton is to find a perfect balance baton, which is where, let's imagine this was a baton. You're looking for something where you can hold it at about here, and the weight of the handle and the weight of the stick part is perfectly balanced. Okay, this isn't like that. It's not meant to conduct. They wanted me to conduct the second act of the show with this, which I just don't think would have worked. But it was nice. It was a nice thought. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to utilize the stand or not. I have used in the past kind of a vertical stand approach, where you just attach one piece to a wall and another piece here, and then the whole thing just kind of rests on there, and it stays, as long as the part here stays into the wall, there's really nowhere for it to go. So that's a nice method of displaying. Okay, I've known some people that display them all like either horizontally or vertically, right in a row. Okay, this one obviously would need a little more room that way. Okay, so you got to be prepared for that. But I'll figure something out. In the meantime, I'll show you this in comparison to the other ones, so you can kind of see how that works. So that will do it for this week's episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. It's a short one this week. We've got a nice amount of items that have come in. And we'll be doing some unboxings day after day. We get a few more out of the gate. Then I have a few older items that I want to unbox for you as well. Also wanted to point out that at this point, I'm just giving you kind of an update on the Jabba sail barge through Hasbro's HasLab. And it's up to, I think as of this morning, it was 2,311, which is dangerously close to halfway there, with about 29 days. Now, I can tell you that unless there is more support from backers, there is, the daily average of how many people have decided to back it is definitely down low. It's not going to be enough to, when they get to the end of the 28, 29 days, it's not going to be enough to back it unless Hasbro decides to do it with slightly less than what they said. But we shall see. I'm fine with it either way. I think it's a fantastic piece. I think that for collectors, this is the way of the future when it comes to collecting large-scale, large-ticket items. I don't believe it's in the big toy companies' best interest to try to mass-produce large, high-ticketed items for the children of the world. They are just as happy and content with a cardboard box and a few pieces of styrofoam in their imaginations than having to get an actual piece of huge playset and spend a lot of money. And I think and the parents probably don't want to shell it out either. They would rather spend it on figures, more figures for the kid, because it's a lot of money. It's a $499 price tag. Think about how many figures that would buy. But from a collector standpoint, I think that is definitely something that is worth doing. I do recognize that it could price some people out, and and maybe if that happens and they don't have enough to do it, perhaps Hasbro will then try to find something in the middle of the road, maybe find something that's half that price and do something a little bit smaller. Who knows? But I think it's an interesting experiment. I'd rather them try this and see what happens than not try it. I think it's better than that, better this way than to just say, no, we're not going to do it. We don't care how many consumers say they want it. We're not going to do it. So we'll see what happens. But in any case, if you're on the fence about it, I advise people to do it if you have the means. Don't do it if you don't have the means. However, I do believe that they accept PayPal, and PayPal you can arrange to make, if you use a credit card payment, you can make payments on it. You don't have to do the whole thing at once. Keep that in mind. I also believe they are trying to extend it at least to Canada. I don't know about other countries, so we'll see if that changes in the next couple of weeks. But that's the update about just over 2,300 and counting. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Again, that'll do it. Thank you so much, and until next time, may the Force be with you.